I'm Stephen Purvis. I graduated from the College of Pharmacy in 1998 with a Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy. I have been the owner-operator of Huff Drug Store since 2007. Before that, I worked for Huff Drug Store from just after the time I graduated until now. My first important professional meeting that I attended was APHA out in Los Angeles. And it was my first year of pharmacy school, so that would have been the spring of '96. And the takeaway from that was I was stopped by Dana Strickland, former alumnus, and he invited me to go to dinner with him. He had recently left Merck and come to work at the College of Pharmacy. And he took me out to dinner with himself, some gentleman who served on the State Board of Tennessee, and a gentleman who also worked with Merck that controlled the Northeast section of Merck. And so you have these three very distinguished gentlemen and a 21-year-old Steve Purvis. So as we sat at dinner, what was striking was those guys were actually interested in what I wanted to do, what I thought about pharmacy, where I thought the profession was going, and what the challenges were going to be. They were genuinely interested in school and what I was learning. And so really kind of the first time, I think as an adult, I had folks who genuinely were interested in my opinions and my thoughts about the future and how things were going to go. And it made a really large, profound impression on me, just that it was important. What we were doing was important. Those connections were important. Well, there's a couple different reasons. Number one, you want to be involved in professional organizations for the sheer volume of influence. So as pharmacy with any particular industry has challenges. So as you coalesce and band together in different organizations, that also brings you the ability to address these issues as well. Whether it's through a legislative process or whether it's through different laws or manipulations of those laws, that's a very important piece of it. The other big part of it is just the connections that you make through going through those pieces. You get to know different people with different backgrounds, and that provides, anytime you have connections, it provides opportunities. Opportunities for finding synergy in business where you can have multiple people come together and do something. And it also puts into the opportunity for if you're looking to do something different altogether. I think the connections is the biggest part of it. Or number one, they're still gaining knowledge. You're a student, you're supposed to be learning. So as you start attending these things and you listen, whether you go to the legislative conference or whether you go to the knowledge-based conferences, whatever you're doing, you're still gaining knowledge. So you're still shaping your future in pharmacy, and you're also shaping the future of pharmacy. And those are two different things. So one is what you're gonna do, and the other one is what the entire profession is gonna do. So you need to know, you need to understand, and you need to have input in that because you're gonna be doing it for a long time. The other part of that is kind of like I followed up with connections. You make those connections, you make those opportunities for different employers, or to become an employee one day, or an employer. So both of those have those opportunities. For all College of Pharmacy alumni, I know the goal for the College of Pharmacy was to have at least 150 donors. Last year they shattered their record by about 20%. So my challenge let's push that number way on up. And whether you give 50 or 100 or 150 or $1,500, whatever you want to do, make sure you remember that student out there who have student loans, they don't have a job, all those sorts of things, that they can go out and experience those in those conferences and really help put themselves in a better position later on. Okay, so one more piece of advice for the students. If you're looking at going to these conferences, on the very first day of pharmacy school, a gentleman by the name of Ken Duke, who was our advisor for pharmacy school at the time, gave me a very, very important piece of advice. He said, do not let school get in the way of your education. So make sure you take the time. I know you have the stress of tests and everything else going on, but take the time out and go and do some of these conferences. You'll be surprised at how much you learn outside of the classroom.